I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC. We've been having different conversations.
Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear California's in a state of turmoil.
California just erupted. And not because of an earthquake. Gavin Newsom is reportedly losing his cool after none other than Mel Gibson, yes, that Mad Max legend, decided to rip open a secret the governor desperately wanted buried. When Mel Gibson is the calmest man in the room, you know something wild is going down. The tension is so thick it could power Los Angeles for a week. What started as another sunny California day quickly turned into a storm of Hollywood chaos and political panic. Imagine the drama, egos clashing, reputations trembling, and the spotlight burning brighter than ever. Mel's bombshell didn't just shake up the scene, it flipped the entire narrative on its head. The madness brewing behind closed doors is straight out of a blockbuster. Only this time, the camera's pointed at the governor himself. Get ready, because what's happening next is pure California scandal at its finest.
All that reputational damage that's being done as they're sitting there on horses with American flags running through soccer fields, scaring kids that are playing soccer in the middle of the day at a summer camp. For what? Just toughness. It's a weakness masquerading as strength. That's what I don't like about this son of a
Angelinos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office? How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community.
California's no stranger to quakes, but no one expected the next tremor to come from Mel Gibson himself. 1 minute, you're stuck in traffic on the 405, and the next, the governor is allegedly having a full-blown meltdown. The man who once screamed, "Freedom," on the battlefield just shouted something even louder. The truth, or at least Mel's version of it. And let's be honest, subtlety has never been his thing. His words hit harder than a flamethrower at a fireworks show. The shockwaves rippled through the political scene, shaking everything in their path. California, the land of big dreams and bigger egos, just got hit by a plot twist worthy of an Oscar. This isn't just gossip, it's a full-scale cinematic eruption.
Absolutely no adequate excuse the governor or mayor can make for this gross mismanagement and failure to preemptively deal with what they knew was coming.
Right.
Was it incompetence? Was it indifference? Complacency? Carelessness? Was it negligence? Absolutely. Was it criminal negligence?
They don't care.
See, there are many who say that it is criminal negligence.
Absolutely.
Do the mayor and the governor give a damn about you?
And just like that, Gavin Newsom's perfectly sculpted hair started to lose its legendary hold. The governor, usually the poster boy for calm confidence, suddenly looked like he'd stepped into a blockbuster he couldn't control. Picture it, the man who could sell cologne with a single smirk, now facing off against the warrior who once fought the entire British Army. And somehow, Mel Gibson looks like the chill one. Reports say Gibson finally spoke up about California's greatest paradox, the land where everything costs a fortune except common sense. His words sliced through the glitz like a director yelling "cut" on the illusion. The golden state of glamour just got roasted by one of its own, and the timing couldn't have been more chaotic. When an action icon turns philosopher, you know the script's about to get wild.
So Mel Gibson lost his house in these wildfires. And what you just saw there was an effort to recall the governor and Mayor Bass. Does his star power in this matter?
It matters in the sense we're playing it now on national television on a highly rated Fox and Friends First show, and that has gone viral on social media. And meanwhile, The same day that Mel Gibson says what he says there, and he's correct on so many things as far as the management of wildfires, Gavin Newsom's approval on the handling of the wildfires is only 30%.
Wow.
Then came the twist no one saw coming. Mel Gibson, of all people, opened his mouth, and California instantly turned into a deleted scene from Mad Max, Bureaucracy Road. Gavin Newsom tried to brush it off with his usual slick charm. A few press conferences, a polished grin, and those empty political lines that sound like leadership but mean absolutely nothing. But here's the catch. You can't outspin Mel Gibson. His chaos has its own gravitational pull. The man doesn't need strategy. He's pure wildfire, unpredictable and unstoppable. California, the land of movie stars, moral lectures, and endless self-congratulation, suddenly found itself exposed by one of its most untamed sons. And the best part? Mel didn't need a team of advisors or a stack of talking points, just a microphone and a reason. And Gavin Newsom gave him both. What Mel reportedly revealed wasn't just a scandal. It was a vibe, an entire mood that screamed, "This state's perfection is an illusion." It was raw, real, and impossible to ignore.
Since he's been in whatever you call it, office, has brought us nothing but rampant crime, acute homelessness, horrendous inflation. He's made it untenable for people to make a living here. And put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded upon and promises to offer.
Because here's the thing. Mel Gibson doesn't drop subtle hints. He drops bombs. He exposes everything, brushes off the dust, and strolls away like it's just another day at the beach. The chaos he leaves behind, that's for everyone else to clean up. And the timing couldn't have been worse for Gavin Newsom. The man's been on his self-proclaimed America's Backup President tour, strutting around the country like destiny itself had reserved him a seat in the Oval Office. It's as if he believes the nation's been praying for another smooth-talking governor with a Hollywood contact list and a cloud of expensive perfume trailing behind him. But then, just as his campaign lights start to shine, Mel Gibson, the unpredictable, fiery wildcard, decides to grab a mic. Suddenly, the glossy illusion around Newsom cracks wide open. The confident smiles fade, the camera flashes turn harsh, and the narrative shifts in one explosive moment. What Mel unleashed wasn't just controversy, it was cinematic chaos wrapped in truth.
And Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass, well, they were also suggesting that LA was under control. They had it covered while, of course, LA was essentially burning. And they've been blaming Donald Trump for all the chaos in LA, while Gavin Newsom has been trying to emerge as the strong leader of the Democrats as he eyes off the presidency in 3 years' time. But actor Mel Gibson has spoken out, blasting the governor and the mayor, rightfully so, for their disastrous leadership.
Mel Gibson didn't hold back. He painted California as the world's most glamorous disaster zone, a place where billionaires build underground bunkers while ordinary people can't even afford a studio apartment, where celebrities preach about justice from their infinity pools, sipping imported water under the banner of equality. And there's Gavin Newsom talking about sustainability while cruising in a motorcade that guzzles enough fuel to light up Fresno for a week. That's when everything erupted. Reports say Newsom's team went into full-blown panic mode. Late-night meetings, frantic phone calls, and desperate whispers of, "Why did it have to be Mel?" Because when Mel Gibson calls you out, it doesn't just sting, it goes viral. The memes practically write themselves. It's a Hollywood clash for the ages, the polished politician versus the unpredictable wild card. Two men cut from the same California cloth, overconfident, theatrical, and constantly performing for an audience that's half laughing, half gasping. The drama was unstoppable, and the internet couldn't look away.
Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed.
This used to be the mecca of filmdom. It is no more. That's right. And the tech industries have taken off, and many business and industries, they just left. They blew out of town because he's made it untenable for people to make a living here. I had a job where I had to film down the street in LA, one day filming. It was cheaper for me to fly the entire crew to Bulgaria, feed them, house them for 3 days, shoot, come back.
And just like that, the wild card stole the entire spotlight. Gavin Newsom's team scrambled to contain the flames, issuing statements about misinformation and distorted narratives, the same tired political fog they always use. But the internet doesn't care about explanations. It craves spectacle. Watching the smooth, camera-ready governor lose his cool because of a Hollywood rebel, that's streaming gold. Every time Newsom tried to pivot back to his talking points, Mel's name popped up again like a jump scare in a horror film. It didn't matter what Gavin said. The memes were louder, the laughter sharper, and Californians couldn't get enough of it. Love him or hate him, everyone secretly enjoyed watching a powerful man squirm under the spotlight. And Mel Gibson, with his zero-filter energy and fearless dramatic flair, delivered that moment flawlessly. As the chaos spread, Newsom's team desperately tried to shift focus. Climate, homelessness, anything but Mel. But once the internet bites, it never lets go. And now, Mel's name was etched into the governor's legacy forever.
California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as
Amen.
why they do things.
Think about that.
And then in the events like this, you sort of look,
Look at that fire.
is it on purpose? It's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be?
That's when the floodgates opened. People began digging up Gavin Newsom's greatest hits: the French Laundry dinner, the pandemic hypocrisy, the endless grandstanding. Every old scandal suddenly resurfaced like ghosts haunting his career. Mel Gibson's fiery remarks didn't just spark outrage, they unlocked memories Californians had tried to forget. Suddenly, the governor's sleek image and polished speeches looked more like rehearsed performances, while Mel's chaotic honesty felt strangely authentic. In a state built on illusions, authenticity is the ultimate danger. And that's exactly what Mel exposed. He didn't just call out a single policy, he cracked open the entire illusion of leadership. California's politics, it seemed, had become more about looking good than doing good. And the more Gavin tried to regain control, the worse it got. Every damage control attempt just made him look more desperate, like a movie villain trying to convince the audience he's misunderstood. Meanwhile, Mel was probably somewhere relaxing, coffee in hand, smirking, as the internet tore the story apart in real time.
He did sort of make some concessions, but he made sure it was just enough so the kids still ran off the farm and went somewhere else to work. It's inadequate. He wanted to appear magnanimous. And so now he and Karen, they want us to trust them to reimagine our city for us.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, he's going to build back better.
No.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
A message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel.
Then came the think pieces. And when the media starts publishing essays titled, "What Mel Gibson's Comments Reveal About California's Political Soul," you know the chaos has gone nuclear. Suddenly, every journalist and political analyst had an opinion. Half the country called Mel a truth-teller. The other half called him a reckless troublemaker. But everyone agreed on one thing. Gavin Newsom was rattled. The man once praised for his composure now looked like an actor who realized too late that he's no longer the star of his own movie. In politics, perception is everything. And right now, Gavin looked like he'd just been outperformed by Hollywood's master of mayhem. Yet behind all the memes and mockery, Mel's words hit a nerve. They echoed what many Californians had been thinking all along. The Golden State's shine is fading, and no amount of smooth speeches or perfect smiles can hide the cracks forever. Newsom tried to steer the conversation back to policy, but how do you talk about green energy when you're trending for being roasted by Mel Gibson?
Yeah, that's a catchy little phrase, isn't it? Build back better. We all heard that before, haven't we? Anyone ever seen the government build back better? I sure haven't. No. If anyone, has, like, put your hand up and maybe I'll concede that point. But I have another B word there. It's called bullshit. Yeah.
Children in the audience.
Sorry, Bishop. Bishop is another B word.
That's the thing about politics in the age of spectacle. Scandals fade, hypocrisy gets forgiven, but once you become a meme, you're done for. Gavin Newsom didn't just stumble into controversy. He got memed into oblivion. And the man who did it? A Hollywood rebel who hasn't headlined a blockbuster in over a decade. It's poetic justice, California style. The governor who built his career on image, polish, and camera-ready charm just got taken down by the king of chaos. And the world couldn't stop watching. Mel Gibson didn't simply expose Newsom, he exposed California itself. The glittering illusion of perfection, the shimmering facade of moral superiority, all revealed as fragile, one power outage away from pure chaos. It's a state where every street looks like a movie set, and every politician acts like they're auditioning for sainthood. Now Gavin's trying to patch up his image, while Mel quietly reclaims his role as California's most unpredictable export. Because in this surreal show called politics, performance isn't just part of the job, it is the job. And this one deserves a standing ovation.
We do recognize we have to do more in terms of prescribed burns. We do have to do more on vegetation management. We do have to do more on our forest management efforts. And you can exhaust yourself with your ideological BS by saying, well, 100 years ago we should have done this or that. All that may be true. And I'm not going to suggest for a second that the forest management practices in the state of California over a century plus have been ideal.
Oh no, this one stuck. Every time Gavin tried to move on to talk about housing, climate, or his favorite topic, himself, someone somewhere brought up Mel Gibson. It became the ghost haunting every press conference, the uninvited guest at every podium. Weeks later, a reporter asked about renewable energy, and all anyone could think was how renewable perfectly described Mel Gibson's relevance. The internet wasted no time turning it into art. One viral meme showed Gavin desperately plugging leaks in a dam labeled California Problems, while Mel stood behind him, swinging a sledgehammer named The Truth. Even late-night comedians who usually treat Newsom like political royalty couldn't resist. They joked that California had finally discovered a new renewable resource. Gavin's endless ability to embarrass himself.